Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namah. Chaitanyam Sarvagam Sarvam Sarvabhuta Guhashayam Yat Sarva Vishayatitam Tasmai Sarvavide Namaha. So right now, discussion is going on with the Kshanika Vijnana, whose basic principle is that everything is Kshanikam or momentary, that there is no abiding reality. The world that you come across is also Kshanikam, object, subject also is Kshanika or momentary. In their own way, they try to explain the Vyavahara. So here Vedanthin pointed out that if this is reality, momentariness is reality, then number one, you cannot explain smriti, memory. Every moment, subject is changing. The subject, the previous moment, experienced something, and subject next moment is different. You cannot have memory of what you have not experienced. Secondly, memory also requires samskara or the impressions, that an experience leaves an impression. Now, yat samskar adhatavya atmanantah karaneva. The samskara or impression will be either planted in the self atma or in antahkarana. But that also is momentary, therefore, experience takes place at that time where samskara is to be implanted, that moment is not there, antahkarana, that moment is not arisen. So where will the samskara be planted? So memory requires samskara, which also cannot be explained. What is the locus of samskara? When the locus is momentary, when samskara takes place, the locus is not there. Therefore, what is the locus where the samskara, the impression is planted, which is what we need for memory, and the one who has to remember also is not there when the experience has taken place. Therefore, who will remember it? So memory can't be explained. Even perception can't be, pratyaksha cannot be explained. Pratyaksha or perception or cognition of a part, object like a part, requires that the consciousness should contact the part. The part is illumined by consciousness, that's how part becomes the object of knowledge. But the consciousness that is supposed to illumine is also momentary. The part that is meant to be illumined also is momentary. So moment when this part comes into being, the consciousness is not there, and when consciousness is, so that between two momentary things, a contact cannot be explained. So pratyaksha, perception also cannot be explained. Inference depends upon pratyaksha, that also can't be explained. Memory cannot be explained. Pratyabhijna, recognition cannot be explained. Recognition requires continuity. The one who was there yesterday, that I am here today, or the one that I am confronting today is the one that was yesterday, or a moment ago, some time ago. In momentariness, there is no abiding subject, nor abiding object, and therefore even the recognition or the pratyabhijna is not possible. And if you admit that there is someone who is aware of previous moment and the following moment, and therefore he can recognize, in that case you are accepting the existence of a subject more than one moment, in which case, because to be witnessed, a witness must be there before the event has happened. During the event and after the event, then only witness can be there. Doctor can say this child is born at a given time. When he was there before the birth, during the birth, after the birth, then only you can know what exactly the phenomenon is. So for a phenomenon to be established that it is there must be witness, and witness should be there before the phenomenon, during the phenomenon, after. So he must be abiding, even phenomenon comes and goes. But the one who is a witness has to be there. If you accept a witness, then you are accepting something steady. Sthaneva, Shrintasvahanam, sthanam, sthaitvam. If you accept abidance of a sakshi, then also your momentariness is gone. Then also point out that this karya-karana, the vyavhara, our interactions, transactions are all based on the karya-karana. Because to produce a karya, such as a pot, you require karanam, namely clay. You reach out to clay in order to create the pot. Therefore, clay is a specific karanam, material cause for pot. Here the example was of the milk and curd. That milk is the specific karanam, the cause for curd. Therefore, when you want to make curd, you reach out for milk. Now, if curd also is momentary, milk also is momentary, then there is no connection between them. In which case, anything can act as the cause of anything. That they call Kar series. Dadhi series. Dadhi santanam. Kshira santanam. Kshira means milk. That you would reach out to a given milk santanam, kshira santanam for a dadhi santanam for creation of the curd. That cannot be explained. If both are momentary and if there is no necessity that the effect must be potentially be present in the cause, then anything can act as cause of anything. Therefore, you can reach out for sand also in order to create curd. Says, no, that is a prasiddhi. That it is everybody's experience that we always reach out to a given material cause for a given effect. So your conclusion is out of bounds that you can use also sand. And so we have to respect the prasiddhi. a common agreement that you reach out to a given cause for a given effect. Alright? Even that also is very difficult when everything is momentary. Because the Tikakara said, for the rain and the sprout to act as cause and effect. The rain imparts a certain samskaras, is upakaraka. Rain is one that upakaraka, it helps. And a sprout is something that is helped. Then rain can help the sprout to grow. In which case they should coexist. They should be together. For the rain or the cause to be upakaraka, effect to be upakarya, one that helps, one is helped, one that benefits, one is benefited. That is the kind of relationship that is required between the material cause and effect. But for that to happen, both of them should be present at the same time, in the same place. But between two momentary things, that kind of contact can't be established. Rain is momentary, is gone before it comes, before a sprout comes. And therefore, rain and sprout cannot act if they are momentary. As upakaraka, upakarya. And therefore, even this vyavahara, prasiddhi of karya karana, which we encounter in our day-to-day life, also cannot be experienced momentariness. In this manner, momentariness cannot explain anything. Cannot explain our day-to-day phenomena, cannot explain the life. Then how can you visualize that momentariness? Therefore, kshanikatvam does not make sense. So now continuing the verse 30th, evam, tadevam, kshanikamatam nirakritya. In this manner, having refuted kshanikamatam, this view that everything is kshanikam or momentary, sunyamatam nirakarishan, sunyavadi goes a step further. That what obtains between two kshanas? When you say that it's momentariness where each moment is different from the other moment, if you accept a connection between the two moments, then you're accepting a connecting thread which is sustaining reality. Like, in a mala, there is a thread that connects, sustains all the beads. Each bead is independent, not connected with the other one, but there is a thread that actually is a connecting link. So even if you accept momentariness as its object and subject, then if you don't accept a connecting link, then nothing can be explained. So Shunyavadi says that what obtains between two moments is void, shunya. That's the reality. From shunya a moment arises, into shunya a moment merges. And therefore, what is the moment is nothing but the manifestation of shunya. For example, from the silence sound arises, into silence sound merges. Therefore, even when the sound is, what it is nothing but silence, because silence is abiding reality. Now, according to the Shunyavadins, shunya or void is the abiding reality, which obtains before the arising of a moment, which obtains after the moment. So shunyamatam, shunyam nirakarishan. Now the author, nirakarishan, now in the process of nirakarishan, meaning in refuting the shunyamata. That's the present participle, nirakarishan. So while refuting the shunyamata, but before doing that, adau swamata samanjasyam upanyasyati. Before refuting or dismissing Shunyamata, the teacher is establishing Samanjasyam, the fitness of his own mata. Vedanta mata, that there is an abiding reality, and the ultimate reality is non-dual, there is no duality. Even subject-object duality is only superficial. At the very root, even subject-object, both of them emerge from the same non-dual. The same non-dual truth appears as subject, appears as object, appears as experience, appears as everything. One water appears as wave, a wave subject wave, object wave, experience wave. Therefore, the duality that we seem to encounter at the level of our day-to-day transaction is also superficial, because if you look into the truth of that, tatah padam tat parimargatavyam, you have to now inquire into that padam, the ultimate truth. Going where one does not come back into duality, recognizing duality is not really there, it's only mithya appearance. So non-dual is the truth. That is abiding reality, that is Vedanta mata, swamata samanjasyam upanyasyati. The proprietariness, the fitness of one's own mata, one's own siddhanta, is for upanyasyati, first presented, mrushayati. So we read the verse 30th. Mrushadhyasastu yatra syat tannashastatra no matah sarvanasho bhavedyasya mokshah kasya phalam vada. Yatra mrushadhyasah tatra nashasyat iti naha. That is our naha mata, our siddhanta is nasha is possible of only that which is adhyastam, only superimposed. Nasha or destruction is not possible of what that is, what is. Nasha or destruction, see, when you say everything shunya, meaning everything is destroyed, everything merges into destruction. So destruction is a phenomenon that they accept, we don't accept it. What is cannot suffer destruction. What suffers destruction is that it appears to be there, but not that. That alone can suffer destruction because it's not there to begin with. A rope snake, which I think is, can suffer a complete destruction without leaving a trace when the knowledge of rope takes place. Is because the snake is not there even when it appears, or when you think it is there, it is not there. Then alone snake can suffer destruction. So what can be destroyed is mithya, not real. Shunya, void is possible, everything is destroyed. But destruction is not possible. What is? Mrushadhyasastu yatrasya tannasha. Where mrushadhyasa is there, false superimposition is there, that is a nasha can take place, that can be completely eliminated because it is not there to begin with. That is our mata. You are accepting nasha. We don't accept nasha. We accept nasha or destruction only of what is projected, appearance. Yasad bhasamanam tan mithya. Asad bhasaman, that which is not there and which appears not really there. No, this is something beyond anybody's imagination, that such a thing can be there. People always accepted what appears is there. Vedanta says there is no rule. In the dream experience, all kinds of things are not there. And so that is how there is an abiding reality, indestructible reality. And that is non-dual. This is our mata. Sarvanasho bhavedyasya. If according to you, sarvanasho bhaved, the object, subject, each one completely suffers a destruction that is non-existent, which is non-existence. Moksha kasya phalam, who is the one who is going to be liberated? One who is a mumukshvar, one who wants moksha, he himself also doesn't remain. Then, moksha is for whom? Vada, please tell me. So if you read the Tika, Yadva, so either you can say first line is Swamata Samanjasyam, that one's own mata, that there is an abiding reality that cannot suffer destruction, that Nityatvam is the reality, is justified by saying that there is no such thing as destruction. Destruction can be of only that which appears to be there, but which is really not there. And further, that appearance or mushadhyas or superimposition presupposes also an adhishthanam or substratum. Without something real to be there, a projection or superimposition cannot be unless some real thing is there. A real rope has to be there for a mushadhyasa, for a false snake to superimpose, a real rope must be there. They accept the world as adhyasa, as maya, all projection. And they say it's nothing more than just buddhi, the consciousness, this is all projection. The conscious also is not there. Those fellows say conscious moment, this fellow that is also not there. We say that this mushadhyasa or false superimposition cannot be unless there is something real. That real alone appears as what you take it to be. Appearance presupposes something that appears to be so. So either first line can be interpreted as justification of the Vedantin's Siddhanta or Yadva, or it can be interpreted differently, Yadva, Vedantamatevi Brahmatmanah Anadheya Atishayatvat Kshanikamate iva Tulya Moksha Anupattihidi. In Kshanikamata, moksha anupatti, because who will be liberated? The fellow who was bound is gone and liberated. So person who experiences an entity that experiences bondage is not the one that experiences liberations. How can there be liberation? There is nobody to be liberated. Shunya is even worse than that. But in Vedanta Mata also, Brahmanatma Anadheya Atishayatvat, as a result of this, nothing, no atishayata or no extra thing is that no becoming is there, that jivatma, atma does not become Brahman. Then where is the liberation for atma? Atma is bound and Brahman and atma are one. So your becoming Brahman means you remain the same. So Vedanta Mata also cannot explain liberation. Kshanikamate eva tulya moksha anupattihi. For moksha something should happen to you. Some atishayatvam must be there. Some excellence should come to you. Then only it makes sense. If you remain the same, then you remain what you are. Where is moksha? Ita ashankya paramarthada atisha ayogepi. We accept that there is no atishayatvam. Nothing, no excellence or thing, nothing happens to Jivatma as a result of knowledge. But sthayitvat, that Jiva is a sthayi entity, an abiding entity. Therefore, one who experiences bondage is there to experience the liberation. In Kshanika Mata, there is no sthayitvam, therefore there cannot be, the one experiencing moksha is not the one experiencing bondage. But the jiva who is experiencing bondage, the jiva who experiences moksha, that is sthayitvam, that continuity is there. Certainly moksha is feasible. Phalatva upatte, phala means the result of moksha is tenable because of continuity. The continuity makes it possible for the liberation of phala. One who performs karma must be around, then he can get experience of the result, then he can experience the result. So sthayitvam, or that continuity is what makes possible the phala or the result to come. Makes possible the moksha also to come for the one who strove for moksha. So mrishadyasastu yatra syat nashastatra no matah tannashastatra no matah. So yatra adhisthane mrisha adhyasastu yatra syat. The verse says. So yatra, where adhisthane brahmatmani, in Brahman there is Atma, Adhishthanam. Mrusha Adhyasa, Kartrutvadi, Samsara Adhyasa, Mrusha, Mithya. What is Samsara? Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva, Lakshana, Samsara. So this Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva, etc. is Samsara, meaning that is where the sense of limitedness is there, that's where the Shoka Moha is there, that is where that where karma phala is there, therefore this chain of birth and death is there. So samsara, however you explain it. If you explain samsara as the series of birth and death, that also will be there for a karta who becomes bhokta, who becomes karta, who becomes bhokta. If hurt and guilt are the samsara, then karta is guilty and bhokta is hurt, etc. So samsara, suffering of different kinds can be explained when kartrutva, but then it is mrisha adhyasa. So it is not that you have to impart some extra thing, we have to remove what is there. Therefore, kartrutvadi, samsara adhya, mrisha, mithya. On Brahman, that is Atma, the notion of kartrutva, bhoktrutva is mrisha means mithya. Mithya means what is not there but which appears to be there. So this is the justification of one's own opinion. Athva mrisha adhyasa avidya nimandana brahma kartrutvadi samsara pratibhasa yatra syadati yojana. Either mrisha adhyasastu yatra can be a statement, a proposition that yatra, so yatra adhyasa, so adhyasa mrisha is a statement, or mrisha can be the adjective adhyasa, mrisha adhyasa. The false superimposition is avidya nibandhana, has a nibandhanam karanam, cause in avidya. Mrisha adhyasa is caused by avidya. Brahma, so this mrisha adhyasa, kartrutva, bhoktrutva is Brahma, is a notion or delusion brought about by avidya, ignorance. So, Brahma kartrutvadi samsara pratibhasa. So this kartrutva, bhoktrutva, that samsara appearance is there, that is yatra sat. So where that happens? The kartrutvadi, mrisha adhyasa, false superimposition of kartrutva, etc., yatra sat, where it is. there, tatra. So yatra and tatra are connected that way. And so, tatra, aham brahmasmi iti. So where is the Vishaya Saptami? The one about which this Musha Adhyasa is there, about that one there is knowledge. So that because of which ignorance the Musha Adhyasa is there, the knowledge of that very entity eliminates Musha Adhyasa. Tatra aham brahmasmi vidya tatreva tannashaha. So by knowledge aham brahmasmi, vidya, so avidya adhyasa, vidya tannashaha. So darkness can be completely dispelled by light, or ignorance can be completely dispelled by knowledge. Ignorance, product of ignorance, which is Musha Adhyasa, can be completely dispelled by the knowledge of Brahmatma. Tannasha adhyastanasha. The destruction of what is superimposed is our opinion. Asmakam mataha. And so tathacha, ya ajnanat bandhanubhavat tasya jnanat bandhanivritya. So whoever it was who felt bound because of ignorance, that is the one who recognized that I am liberated by knowledge. Shuddha Sura Anubhava Purushartha iti. So Purushartha is not adding something which is not there. Purushartha is experiencing purely what is. You are experiencing all right now also. Brahmatma is experienced. But there is ashuddhi there because of the adhyasa. So experiencing yourself or recognizing yourself, seeing yourself as you are is a Purushartha. Shuddha Swarupa Anubhava Purushartha iti Vedanti Matam. We don't have to impart some extra quality to myself to become liberated. What I am is what I have to recognize, because bondage was false. Notion. That notion has to go. Iti Vedanti Matam Samanjasam. Therefore, the Vedanta Mata is Samanjasa. Is appropriate. Is proper. So that means that the first line is still interpreted as the justification of Vedanta Mata. Idanim Shunyamate Doshamaha. Second line then is the finding fault with the Shunya Mata. Sarvanasho bhavedyasya moksha kasya phalam vada. Yasya, in whose opinion sarvanasho bhaved. Anubhavito abhavat. So Shunyavadi says that the object also is Shunyam, subject also is Shunyam, so the subject also doesn't remain. Then Anubhavito abhavat. Anubhavita, experiencer also doesn't remain because he also suffers total cessation. Kasya Purushartha Sarvanasha. Then who is the one accomplishing something? Iti Vada, please tell us. So you want, in whatever their concept of, Shantescha, that they wanted a Shanti. What is Shanti? Shanti of this notion that there is continuity, and that is the Purushartha. So Purushartha means some goal is there for them also. How you define that goal? That there is continuity, the notion, therefore that no cessation of notion is Purushartha, is the goal. But who is there to experience that Purushartha? In momentariness also it can't be explained, in Shunya it can further not be explained. Adhisthana aropya ubhayo api nashe. We say that aropya nasha is there. There is a nasha or the destruction of aropya, what is superimposed. Adhisthana is indestructible, but they accept nasha of both. Phala bhava, there is nobody now left to experience the phala of the nasha. If nasha is your goal, then The one who has to experience Nasha also is not there, then who is going to experience that? Who is achieving the goal? Phala bhavat, phala siddhe. Therefore, there is no phalam, there is no phala siddhi. So, moksha siddhi bhava. However you define moksha, in your own, you can define moksha whatever way you want. But there must be somebody who experienced that moksha. If that process, he himself gets destroyed, then who is there to experience moksha? Says, sarvanashaya moksho baladapatati paramartha svabhasya astitva pramana bhavat. Who says there is something abiding? Paramartha svabhavasya astitva pramana bhavat. There is no pramana. Is there an evidence that there is a sustained reality? You are talking about always an abiding reality. Is there a pramanam? Is there any valid evidence, an experience that there is an abiding reality? You can give whatever name you want to give, but there is no pramanam, no evidence of an abiding reality. Therefore, everything will get then destroyed, and therefore, sarvanashaya moksha, the destruction, everything is moksha according to them. Total destruction is moksha. We said, if total destruction is moksha, there is nobody to experience that moksha. He said, you tell us, you are talking about abiding reality. Where is it? What's the proof? Don't the Upanishad says that, So, pramana abhava, where is the pramana? So next verse is, Asthitavat swayam nama jnanam vatmanya devava bhavavagnyastasya na bhavastvadigamyate. Asti tavat swayam nama. You can't say that I am not there. Swayam nama tavat asti. That is I, that you accept that it is. Whatever you call is your, we don't mind. Jnanam va, Atma, Anyadeva, you can call it consciousness, call it Atma, you can call it Shunyam also. What name you give is a different thing. But Asti Swayam Nama, that I am there. So that is the evidence of something, that abiding reality being there. So whenever anybody questions the existence of God, can you prove there is God? Can you prove that you are there? Vedantian answer is very simple. If God is in heaven, then it's always a debatable thing. He says it is there, and he says it is a matter of, becomes a faith. For Nitya Paroksha, which is always Paroksha or is away from you, is a matter of faith. That's why we call it faith. The Abrahamic religions are called faith. It's a matter of faith that you accept God and of such and such nature, etc. Here we talk about darshanam. Darshanam is of what is. Darshanam is seeing what is. So we don't talk about God that is tatastha, pratyaksha, away someplace. If we talk of that, then we accept it in Shraddha. But we are talking about what is. Our Puja Swami used to say that Vedanta deals with the realities of life. And so that I am has to be accepted, otherwise there is nobody to argue. Who is arguing all this stuff? The one who is arguing has to be accepted. Anyway, right? So, bhava bhavagnatastasya. Because bhava bhavagnya, you say it is, or you say it is not. But there is somebody to say it is and it is not. There is somebody who says it is, that it is there and something is there and something is not, that bhava and abhava. Gnya, to say that something is or not, there has to be there somebody who is a witness of that. Tasya na abhava svadigamyate. Therefore, the knower of bhava. The absence of knower of bhava cannot be, because otherwise there is nobody to say there is something or something is not. So they said, where is the proof that there is an abiding? This is the proof that I am. If that I is a problem, at least to say something is, something is not, somebody is required to say, witness is required to establish the bhava and abhava, the presence and absence, or existence, non-existence. And therefore, you cannot deny the existence of the one who is the knower of bhava and abhava, existence and non-existence. And so here Tikakara Swayam Nama Astiti Avivadam Sarvadinam. Astitat Swayam, we begin from there. Astitavat Swayam Nama. Swayam Nama Asti, I am there. Ita Avivadam. The fact that you are talking to me. So you are there, otherwise there cannot be any further discussion. If I am not there, or you are not there, the question of discussion doesn't come. The fact that we are interacting with each other means you are there, I am there. And every vadi, meaning that every disputant, accepts the existence of one's own self. Jnanam va atma anyadeva va. Such jnanam va, atma va, anya shunyam va, iti param vikalpa. What you call is your choice. You can call it jnana of consciousness, atma the self, or by some other name, shunyam. You can use the word shunya if you want. But that it is. Has to be accepted that that entity is. Otherwise the question of even the debate doesn't remain. Question of dispute doesn't remain if there is nobody there. Bhava bhavagnyas tasya na abhavastu adhigamyate. Tasya, of this entity, who is called jnanam, atma, shunya, I, tasya bhava na adhigamyate. You cannot say that it is not. You cannot ever visualize your own non-existence. You cannot visualize, I am not there. Shunyavadi, what evidence do you have of shunya? I see shunyam, that fellow who says shunyam is there. He is abhava, but there is somebody to say abhava. I say bhava, there is somebody to say bhava. You say nothing is there, somebody is there to say nothing. And therefore, the abhava of the Swayam, shunyatadu na pramaniki, that Swayam is there, is avivadam, and therefore, it's not being there, there is no pramanam to say that I am not there. Kuta, why do you say that Atma has to be there? Bhava bhavagnyatataha. Because bhavagnya, tasmin tasmat. So bhava jnanatvat or jnatvat. Loka vyavahara siddhara bhava abhignatvat. In loka vyavahara we know that there is an entity who knows something is there. The pot is there. Elephant is not there. My palm is there. Pot is not there. There is someone to say something is there, something is not there. There is bhava bhavagnya. Bhava bhavau janati iti bhava bhavagnya. So knows the bhava bhava. If that is not there, then the debate of bhava bhava would not come. Debate is a bhava and abhava. We say bhava is something is there, they say it's not there. That will not be there unless there is somebody to say. You say that you know that there is abhava. I say there is something and there is bhava. But abhavagnya also must be there. Bhavagnya nor abhava must be there to say abhava is, nor bhava must be there to say bhava. Therefore, bhava abhavagnya. So, bhava abhignatvat. In loka vyavahara will not be possible unless we know what is and what is not. If that is not there, vyavahara won't be possible. Otherwise, I'll reach out for an elephant, not knowing that elephant is not there. I will look for thinking the pot is not there. Anyatha sthirasya kasi sakshana bhave sarva vyavaharo prasanga ityartha hai. Sthira sakshi, an abiding witness of bhava, what is, abhava, what is not. So what is and is not keeps on coming and going, but there is an abiding witness of that. If that is not there, so memory will not be there, recognition will not be there, karya-karana will not be there, no vyavahara will be there. So we explain. Vyavahara involves perception, inference, memory, recognition, cause-effect. So all of this cannot be, vyavahara cannot be unless there is an abiding entity, subject. He says, tasyapi abhava kasyajit bhatiti. Somebody sees even the absence of that abiding self. You say that kasakshina sthirasya abhave. The vyavahara is there, shows that there is an abiding witness. But if I say that there is someone who knows the absence of the witness also, yasya bhati tasya sattva prapte. Whoever says that I see even the non-existence of the steady or sthayi bhava, even that fellow is there. Who says that shunyam, that fellow must be there. Who knows shunyam? And therefore, you cannot establish the non-existence of one who claims non-existence. Therefore, na shunyata avakasha, shunyatya shanka avakasha. Therefore, there is no avakasha or occasion for shunyatva, absolute non-existence. Yena iti. Yena digamyate bhavaha. Tasya tatsatya tanna ched bhavet. Bhava bhavanabhignatvam. Lokasya syanna cheshyate. Yena adhigamyate bhavaha tatsatyat tanna bhavet chet. First his statement, yena adhigamyate bhava. Yena bhava adhigamyate. Yena by one by whom? Bhava, existence. Adhigamyate is seen, known, experienced. Yena bhava adhigamyate. So one who experiences or knows bhava or existence, tat satyat, he has to be existent. Sorry, yena bhava adhigamyate. So one who says that I know the absence or void, so one who claims that there is a bhava has to be there. Tanna ched bhavet. If that also is not accepted, then bhava abhava anabhignatvam. That means there is nobody who knows bhava and abhava. Then who established the bhava? For abhava or non-existence or void also to be established, kasyajit bhati, that void also is experienced by somebody. So that abhava is experienced by somebody, that somebody has to be accepted to be there. If he is also not there, then who will experience, who will claim abhava also? So therefore, this is how yena adhigamyate abhava. tat satyat. Yena, by whom abhava digamyate, abhava is known, non-existent is known, tat sat. So he has to be there, that has to be existent. Tanna ched bhavet. So that's why uktameva ardham prapanchayati. Artham prapanchayati. Oh, you can say that the artha that was stated earlier alone is being explained here further. So this verse 32 can be interpreted as the evidence of the existence of the witness. Even if you say somebody experiences abhava, that then you are accepting the existence, the presence of someone who experiences that. Or uktameva artham. So astitvat tavat swayam nama, that there is something who is swayam, call it atma, call it jnanam, call it shunyam. Bhava bhavajñah taha, because he is knower of bhava and abhava. Therefore, tasya bhava, therefore you cannot arrive at the non-existence of the knower of the bhava bhava. That prapanchayati, you can say, that is further explained in this verse. So that is another interpretation of this verse. Yena adhigamyate abhavaha. Yena abhava adhigamyate. Sarvasya. So one who arrives at the non-existence or absence of everything, tas sadeva syat, that has to be sat, existent. Vipakshe doshamaha, if you don't accept it then, so what is vipaksha? Tanna ched bhavet. If you say that no, I don't accept even the existence of the witness of non-existence, then bhava abhava anabhignatvam lokasya syat, then there will be no knower of bhava and abhava. There will be absence of the knower of bhava. To establish abhava also require knower. To establish anything you require a witness. This is Vedanta Siddhanta. Without witness, the existence of something cannot be established. That's our vyavahara also. Did you see it? Have you seen it? That something happened also can be established only when there is a witness. Ultimately, that's the proof. Otherwise, all inferences are there. All kinds of evidences are there, and you connect them, and then if there is no witness, there is always a question whether it really happened or not. It will go on for years together, that stuff. Somebody says, I have seen it and describes it. Then that's the final proof. But then if you don't accept a witness, bhava abhava anabhignatvam, that there is no knowledge of bhava and abhava, then what happens? Astu lokasya bhava abhava anabhignatvam. So second line says, so bhava anabhignatvam. Anabhignatvam is not knowing the bhava and abhava. In the chet. So, na ityaha na cha ishyate. That you don't accept the knower of bhava and abhava, that is not desirable. Kenapi sa abhijñah nirakartam na shakyate. For someone, for establishing something not there, that entity who says something is not, that has to be accepted. Kenapi sa abhijñah. So bhava bhava abhijñah. The knower of bhava and abhava cannot be dismissed by anybody. Why? Nirakarta. Because the one who dismisses has to be there. That the knower of the bhava bhava cannot be dismissed because who dismisses has to be there. Nirakarta. So that is the swarupa. You are the knower of bhava bhava. You dismissing the knower of bhava bhava is the knower of bhava bhava because dismissing a bhava or bhava. Tasya sattva, therefore, ultimately a knower has to be accepted for proving any point. Tasya apahna vachanam swanubhava viruddham eva ityartha. Therefore, vachanam, the statement apahnava, statement of absence or dismissing the knower of the non-existence also is anubhava viruddham. That is contradicting our anubhava. That anything can be established with there, provided there is a abhijñah, one who is knower. A witness has to be there. This is Vedanta. They have their own arguments and whatever it is, but then, as I said, we just look at our life and not fancy, simple life we are leading. And this simple living life will not be possible with this idiotic stuff, Kshanikatvam and Shunyatvam, etc. It can't explain. Just to dismiss Vedas, to dismiss Karmakanda, dismiss Devata, dismiss Veda, you come up with all these idiot stuff, funny stuff, So Jains came with their own thing and Bauddhas came with their own, because they revolted against Vedic culture. And there may be elements in Vedic culture against you can revolt. You can't throw a baby along with bathwater. They had problem with the violence part of this, but you can't say the whole culture is violence. It is a distortion. And so remove that. That is called a reformer. So Shankara, Lord Krishna reformed things. Shankara reformed. They did not dismiss the thing, original thing. Same knowledge has been imparted to you today that was imparted to Vivaswan. That's how the parampara continues. Otherwise, no basis, then you create your own thing like this. And then people will all kinds of speculations of what is. Different schools of thoughts keep on coming. Anyway, so Swa-Anubhava Viruddham, you cannot have a theory which contradicts our own experience, which is the basis of all our life. There is no basis for life then. Yadyapi bhava-bhava-vibhaganyam kinchidasti avagatam. So by this line of argument, it is accepted that there is an abhijna, one who knows or witness of bhava and abhava is, otherwise it's impractical, otherwise you cannot explain your experience. Iti avagatam, that is now understood. Tathapi tat kidrusham. If there is a knower of bhava, bhava, what's the nature of that entity? Iti visheshatah nirdharane karanam nasti. There is no way of determining what is the nature of that abhijna, the knower of bhava and abhava. Iti ashankya. How do you arrive at the nature of that? Visheshatah nirdharane. You say someone is there, okay. That there is a knower of bhava and abhava. But how do you arrive at the nature of that knower? Visheshatah nirdharane. To determine what is the nature of that knower, karanam nasti, we find no means of determining the nature of that existence of the bhava abhava visheshajna is accepted. Because otherwise anubhava vyavahara cannot be. But we find no reason or way of arriving at the nature of this fellow, of knower. Bhava bhagnya bhignya, bhava bhava bhignya. Iti ashankya tasvarupa vadayati, the swarupa, essential nature. Upapadayati, with reason it is shown. Sat asaditi. So the next verse is Sadatat sadasatcheti Vikalpat pragyadishyate Tadadvaitam samattvatu Nityam chanyad vikalpitat. Sat, asat, sadasatchayati, vikalpat. So these are the vikalpa, these are different positions. Somebody is sat, asat, is not, satasat. These three possible vikalpas are there. For anything, somebody can say it is, somebody say it is not, but at the most it is and it is not. Here it is, there it is not, as a cause it is, effect is, something like that. So these three vikalpas are possible. Sat, asat, sat asat. Iti vikalpa. So this is vikalpa, this kind of vikalpa, all these different opinions are there. These different thoughts, conclusions, notions are there, let us say. These are possible notions about anything, isn't it? Something is not. Although Sadhasa is not possible, but that is, that also can, someone can come up with that. So this kind of vikalpa, this kind of notions are there about something that has to be accepted. Pragya dishyate. So that which has to be accepted is existing, about which these notions or projections are there. This is there, somebody says, not there, there and not there, about which this debate is going on. That has to be accepted to be there, Without the entity be there cannot be the vikalpa. There cannot be arguments, positions. That has to, yet ishyade. Before these vikalpas, before the different notions are entertained, before the different positions are argued, whatever is there about which arguments are going on, that has to be accepted. So yes, tad advaitam, we said. That is advaitam. So you don't have to go anywhere. Your experience reveals that non-duality is there. That's what Vedanta says here. Tad advaitam. Why? Samatvat. Because of samatvat. And therefore, what happens is, before we'll see the Tika next time, but then before the argument arose, before that, each one is the same. Before something is proven, Sat, Asat, Sat, all of them are the same category. And therefore, what is one non-dual, Nityam, eternal, Anyat vikalpitat. So, anyat, vikalpitat, anyat. This has to be something different from vikalpa, about which the vikalpa is going on. And that has to be advaitam, because samatvat is available for sat, asat, sadasat, nityam. And therefore, the very fact that you are debating here, sat, asat, sadasat, itself shows that this entity is advaita, nitya, vikalpita, anyat, real. So he asked the question, how do you arrive at the specific nature of the one that is the witness of sat, asat, etc., bhava, bhava? That itself shows, that even that itself leads to the determination of what is the nature of the one that is the witness or illuminator of this. So we'll continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.